Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum and a very good morning to all my dear students. This is your lecture number 20, chapter Support and Locomotion by Ms. Zainab Abdul Ghaffar. So students, the main contents of today's lecture is joints, types of joints and injuries to joints. It will cover the content from your textbook from page number 50, 51 and 55. Okay student, joints. What is joints? Basically the junction between the two bone is called joint, or we can say that the point at which the bone link together or connect each other are called joint. Joints is also known as articulation, and as same as articulation is an place where two bone or two cartilage comes together. Okay students, this scientific study of structure and function of joints is called arthrology. So students, as you see in the diagram, at the end of each bone there is a cartilage that are called articular cartilage, which are connected by a joint capsule. And you can also see in the diagram there is a cavity between the two bones. This cavity is surrounded by a membrane called synovial membrane, which is filled by synovial fluid. By this fluid, the two bones move freely and prevent from any friction. So student, most of the joints are movable, that are called freely movable joints. Example, your hip joint, your shoulder joint, and some joints are slightly movable joints. Example, ribs, while some are immovable joints, means they doesn't allow any type of movement. It is also known as fixed joints. Okay students, types of joints. On the basis of composition and on the basis of mobility, we are going to classify the joints into three main classes. Number one, fibrous joints, that are include immovable joints. Number two, cartilaginous joints. Most of the cartilaginous joints are slightly movable joints. And third one is synovial joints, that include freely movable joints. Okay students, number one, fibrous joints. Fibrous joints is also known as immovable joints, or we can say a fixed joints. Why it's called immovable joints or fixed joint? Because it doesn't allow any type of movement. So the question is, why it's called a fibrous joint? Because the adjacent bones of the fixed joints are directly connected by each other by fibrous connective tissues. What are fibrous connective tissues? Basically, fibrous connective tissues is composed of parallel bundles of collagen fibers. So the fibrous joint doesn't have a joint cavity as well. That's why it doesn't allow any type of movement. And the gap between the two bones may be narrow or wide. So students, you can observe the fibrous joints in your skull. Number two, the shaft region of the long bones in the forearms and in the legs. Number three, the root of the tooth have a fibrous joints. And number four, the socket in our. Okay students, here we can see the three examples of the fibrous joints. Diagram A indicate the bones of the skull, and the bones of the skull is called suture. So students, bones of the skull connected by a suture lines, which is composed of a dense fibrous connective tissues. That's why they doesn't allow any type of movement, and they are fixed joints. In the B part, you can easily see the long bone of the forearm. The long bones is basically composed of two bones, radius and ulna, and radius and ulna is connected by a joint that are called fibrous joint, and it is also known as syndesmosis. And this is basically the shaft region of the long bone, and again they are a fixed joint and doesn't allow any type of movement. Now students, part C. Part C show the root of the tooth connected by a maxilla or mandible, that is a jaw bones. It is the both root of the tooth and the socket of the maxilla and mandible is connected by a joint which is called a fibrous joint. So these joints are also okay students. The second one is cartilaginous joints. As we all know that the cartilaginous joint is also known as slightly movable joint. Why it's called a slightly movable joints? Because it's allow a little movement, because they lack a joint cavity and involves the bone that are joined together by two cartilage, either by hyaline cartilage or by fibrocartilage. Hyaline cartilage is basically composed of collagen and chondromucoprotein, and it is also most commonly found in your ribs, in your nose, in your larynx and in your trachea. And fibrocartilage is basically a very tough, and it is basically composed of very strong type of tissues which is predominantly present in your pubis symphysis. Okay students, there are some examples of the cartilaginous joint. As you see in the diagram, that intervertebral disc is basically purely composed of fibrocartilage, that's why it's included in cartilaginous joint. Intervertebral disc is basically the joint which are present between the two vertebral body. These intervertebral joint work together as a unit, and their purpose is to facilitate a movement of the spine. Okay, and as you see in the B part, pubis symphysis, it is basically again a cartilaginous joint which is located between the left and the right pubis bone near to the midline of the body. And most specifically, you can see it is located above your genitalia and in front of your bladder. With the addition of these, you can also observe the cartilaginous joint in your ribs and sternum. Basically, ribs attached to the sternum by a cartilage called costal cartilage. Basically, costal cartilage serves to prolong the ribs forward and contribute to the elasticity of the walls of the thorax. And it is only present on the anterior end of the ribs. Okay students, number 3 is synovial joints. Basically, synovial joints is two joints because they are freely movable joints. So the question is why it's called a synovial joint. So students, as you see in the diagram, the joint are connected by a joint capsule which is composed of an outer layer ligaments. Ligaments is basically a fibrous connective tissues that connect bone to other bones, and the inner layer of the joint capsule is surrounded by a membrane which is called synovial membrane. Later, the synovial membrane secretes a fluid called synovial fluid. Synovial fluid is basically a viscous solution, and the main role of the synovial fluid is just to reduce the friction between the two. Okay students, the most common example of synovial joints are hinge joints, pivot joints, ball and socket joints and gliding joints. Okay, hinge joints basically show back and forth movement. You can see this type of movement in your elbow. Okay, number 2, what is pivot joint? It is basically a type of joint which allow a twisting movement, right? By moving the pivot joint in your elbow, you can easily rotate the palm of your hand upside down. And then ball and socket joint. Basically, your hip and shoulder joints are the example of ball and socket joint. So the question is why it's called a ball and socket joint? Because in this type of joint, the ball-like head of the long bone fit into a cup-like socket of the girdle. So students, you can also observe this type of joint which allow a great deal of movement, and thus you can move your arm or your leg in almost all direction, even in a circle as well. Okay, next is gliding joint. At these joint the bones move easily over one another in back and forth manner. You can see the gliding joint in the vertebrae. Basically gliding joint make the backbone. Injuries to joints. Okay students, basically joint injury, 50% joint injury is because of any high energy forced accident, or 20% because of aging or any sport activity. So students, the sudden impact or the torsion to the side of the joint can be devastating. Sometimes the joint fractured and sometimes a joint slip out of its place. So students, here we discuss only two joint injuries. Number one, dislocation of joints, and number two, dislocation of joints. Basically, a dislocated joint means the joint that slip out of its place because of any accident or because of any disease or defective ligaments. Sometimes any trauma forces a joint out of its place and causes dislocation, or it may also because of any accident or sports injury. Common symptoms include swelling in the affected area, intense pain, and immobility. In some cases, the dislocation are also caused by disease, such as an arthritis called rheumatoid arthritis. Basically, it is an autoimmune disorder in which your immune system mistakenly attack your own body tissues, and it affects the lining of your joints, causing a painful swelling that can eventually result in bone erosion and bone deformity. And students, if sometimes the ligaments are cut or broken, then bone become unfixed or cause joint dislocation. A dislocated joint can be treated by a therapy or by a surgery. Basically, a surgery may be needed to repair the ligaments. Now, sprain. Sprain is also known as a torn ligament. Sprain is a stretching or tearing of the ligaments. And students, as we discussed in the previous slide, that ligaments are the tough bands of connective tissues that connect two bones together. The most commonly injured ligaments are ankle, knee, and wrist. It can be treated by dressing, bandages, or applying ice, or by physical therapy. And sometimes an ACE wrap, that is elastic bandage, should be used to provide support. Okay students, you have to do the assignment as well. In today's assignment, you have to do the three questions. Number one, the situes of the skull are fixed joints. Explain the following statement. Number two, what is cartilaginous joint? Describe the two types of cartilaginous joint. Number three, give a brief account of the following related to injuries to bones. Number one, dislocation of joints, and part B, sprain. Okay students, this is all for today lecture. Thank you and Allah Hafiz.